All right, what's up, YouTube? The talk all on Twitter has been about this Hasbro acquiration of some sort of Harry Potter rights. It's got a lot of people speculating, or at least hoping it's not going to happen, that Wizard of the Coast was going to use that Hasbro partnership with the Harry Potter franchise to print Magic the Gathering Harry Potter cards. Everybody seems like they hate the idea of it on the internet, so much so that Wizard of the Coast has says they issued a little statement about it. We're going to skim this article real fast, and they're saying Wizard of the Coast says that there are no plans for a Harry Potter Magic set. You know, it's always like there's no plans. They do it anyway. Like later on, it's like, didn't they say something about like they weren't gonna force us to play Universes Beyond in Standard? There's a reason why I left Magic a long time ago, because it's pay to win, and now you have to pay to win and play Spider-Man. It's like, you gotta play to win, you gotta play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and we ain't talking on the arcade. You know, okay, so it says Magic has their own school of magic at Strixhaven. And let me talk about that too. Anyway, carry on, because Hasbro recently announced a multi-year licensing partnership with Warner Brothers to bring the world an even more Harry Potter merch than it already has. Oh, this article has a tone, you know. So yeah, nobody likes Harry Potter. You know, I think people like Harry Potter and people just don't like the author. So don't put it past Wizards of the Coast to try to slide it in here in the next decade. Just saying. There's always money to be made in these things, believe it or not. So yeah, Magic and Gathering players were concerned. Just had the Airbender set, Turtle set, all this UB, and what else can I say? This article isn't that exciting. They're saying they're excited because they got the next upcoming set, which is going to be, well, it's not the upcoming Magic sets. Yeah, Secrets of Strixhaven. Maybe April or something. We'll look into it. Blah blah blah. It's a College of Magic. You get the picture. But here is a little screenshot from Reddit about what they said. The Wizard of the Coast community team. The Magic multiverse has its own school of magic at Strixhaven with plenty of secrets still to explore. Our Universes Beyond roadmap currently, they didn't say never, doesn't have us visiting any others. Well, I think they're trolling, but they're saying currently. They can just speak out and say, hey, we're not going to do Harry Potter. I mean, they said that. They say currently. I'm just saying. I don't mean to be blackpilled about this whole thing, but I'm just letting you know what I think. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. But let's move on to Strixhaven. But here's the thing. Like, who wants to play Strixhaven anyway? Is that as exciting as Lorwyn? Not to me. Not to me. I mean, just, come on. Do you want a giant owl-looking guy? A humanoid owl? You know? And you can't say this isn't influenced by Harry Potter. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, how do you go back in time and say you're not influenced by Lord of the Rings if you're doing D&D? You know what I mean? You know, and you know, just there's something about, and maybe they won't visit Magic the Gathering or Harry Potter. Magic the Gathering won't visit Harry Potter because I feel like they're taking an approach where they want to go to, like, they're trying to appeal to a younger audience, right? There's something about it. It's even with this little owl guy over here. It's like you're appealing to a younger audience. You can even go to these, you know, just look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cards. It's like they're definitely mostly focusing on the sort of modern design of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cards. They got cheeky things. Oh, the mutant mechanic. Mike and Don, party planners, and he's playing a guitar. Now, and he's got a DJ set. He's got a guitar and a DJ set. Is that relevant? You know, it's like they got the mass design of the current shows, blah blah blah. You know, I don't really know. Do I think that design of Super Shredder here is pretty sick? Yes. I mean, I'll say what I like, you know what I mean? But here we go. Michelangelo, weirdness to 11. It's like he's got blue pizza. Anchovies was enough, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. And I don't mean to be a naysayer and drinking all the haterade. But, you know, Last Ronin, there they go. Trying to bring back Casey Jones. You know, Turtles has slightly edgier feel in the old days. You know what I mean? A little bit more grimy. And they lived in the sewers. They were mutants. They're mutants. And they had to fight other mutants. And, you know, nowadays, you know, everything's like, oh, there's the vehicle. You know, Technodrome, I'm down. But, you know, what was I going to look at here? You know, here we go. You know, we got some of this Kevin Eastman art. You know, it's a throwback. People are going to like that. Those are the ones that people are going to actually want. This card's not going to be rare. It's going to be in a play booster. You know what I mean? I believe, you know. Super Shredder, blah, blah, blah. Well, where's the one? Here, Turtles Forever. It's like, I was saying this the other day to my friend, you know. It's like, hey, bring back this right here, the live action design, you know what I mean? You know, maybe that's outdated by now. This guy right here, you know, here's the old cartoon design, here's a modern design, here's the comic book design. Like, they had some ability to use the old designs, and I feel like maybe they could have put some of them in, you know, just for fun. And they did, but it's like one card, Turtles Forever, cute. But it's like, I would have liked to see more. I would like to see more of this right here. Any of this. This is good too. I'm sure they gonna have some of those. You know, the Pizza Lands. You know, this is cool. You know, I like this. This is a throwback, right? Sewer Samurai. I'll take it. You know, but just to make my point about going back to children's franchises, we have like Avatar. Who cares about Avatar? Not people my age. You know what I mean? Maybe younger people. Maybe it was more relevant to them. And it's like, maybe, just maybe, you should stick to producing sets that are in the Magic universe. That's why people like Lorwyn. That's why Lorwyn's hot. Bring it back. Let's go back. Onslaught too. You know, maybe I'm showing my age. You know, shilling for Onslaught and Odyssey. You know what I mean? Go back to Wrath or whatever. You know, I haven't followed this story strong enough, but I do remember these cards. And, you know, it's like, you know, are they trying to appeal to a younger audience? That way they can just keep printing out these secret lair slops. You know, it's like they're calling them parachute sets internally. And now we all know, just so you can go out and be like, I want to buy God of War Magic cards. It's like, dude, God of War Magic cards. I'm sure the game was fine. I remember playing like the demo in the old days, you know, like when it first came out, first one, you play a demo, or the second one. I don't know. It was old. It was like a demo. And you're like, all right, cool concept. I'm sure the gameplay's fine. But like, now you got it on a Magic card. It's like, Secret Lair by PlayStation, God of War Ragnarok. I'm like, okay, you're trying to sell video games now by pairing it. People are going to get excited, or is it vice versa? Who knows? You know, it was like you're trying to sell Magic cards to God of War fans. Like, I know people that don't even play Magic that want these cards. I know people that don't even play Magic that want these Turtles cards. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You're trying to print money, but it's like, what have we lost? What did we lose? What flavor did we lose? We got to go back. And, you know, it's always good to go forward, but maybe we should go back a little bit too. Back to a Magic universe. You know, I go pull up. It's like, obviously, Tempest. Who doesn't like Tempest? Pre-modern fam unite. You know, it's like, look at the art style. Bellowing Fiend. Look, he looks nasty. The slivers, sick. You know, and they tried to redesign slivers. I know you've seen them. They're like the humanoid slivers. Who thought that was going to be a good idea? Who thought you need to change the design of a sliver? Who thought I'd be happy about that? I mean, that looks sick. The humanoid slivers look terrible. I don't like it. Blood pet. Look, he's a pet, but he's scary as hell. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, this art style is way grittier. It's hand done. You know, look, this looks AI. What is going? That's at least CGI. This right here, this looks AI to me, and maybe it isn't. But maybe we're in the AI, the world of AI, and it's like, now AI is influencing art. Maybe that's a hot take. I'm just saying. And it's like, this guy seems too cheery. What about these guys? Do you want to? You look at that guy. He looks. What's going on with Dark Banishing? A Darkling Stalker. I'm just saying, this art was grittier. They did it by hand. Christopher Rush. You know what I mean? Mark Poole, my boys. You know what I'm saying? What about this? What about this big owl dude and this little goblin that's chilling? Not that exciting. You know what I'm saying? Just not. You know, like I'm saying, they pretty much focused on the current gen of card. You know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle design. Look, this Dark Ritual is cool. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like, I like some of it, but the question is, like, who are they making it for? Are they going to ruin their long-term fan base? Yes, that's why I quit the game so long ago. It got terrible. Who cares about Kamigawa? Shards of Alara was hot. But you know what? It becomes pay to win, and you're just pumping money into it. And then you can't even play old formats. Like, it won't reprint Black Lotus. Won't reprint Black Lotus because guess why? I don't know. We go preserve the collectability. How are we ever going to play Vintage? How are we going to play Legacy? Bazaar of Baghdad? Mistress Factory, $2,000 cards. What? You gotta get like if you're not like ultra rich, you gotta get a sponsor. Okay. Yeah, I want to play the old formats. I'm old. I'm out here trying to play pre-modern. You know, and it's like pre-modern is very niche. I get it. It's an unevolving format. You know, but recently Wizards of the Coast, they threw it on their online service, right? It's like a format now that you can play on there, and people have been playing it on there. And, you know, there is a demand for those old formats, you know, at least among friends and niche tournaments. It's like, you know, I get it. You want to milk the cash cow so you can just constantly print out Fallout. Who cares, man? Fallout? Now you got to make it a television series? I don't know. I wasn't even into the video games. You know what I mean? We're gonna Last of Us. Look, it's just like this whole video game thing, a whole video game. Furby, that appeals to that's from my generation, but it's like, who's buying Furby still? Furby died in like the 90s, right? Late 90s, early 2000s. Like, that's when I remember it. That's when it was hot, you know, when I was a child. And now we're trying to expect to be Furby. It's like, are they trying to bring Furby back? You know, some sort of eldritch horror so I can see it. So I can see Furby on my Phyrexian arena. You know, I've already covered this, but it's like, who's the audience? Look, they're not even selling because it was a bad idea. It was a bad idea to print Furby Magic cards, but they did it anyway. They're just milking a cash cow. They're like, let's print out a bunch of, let's swing and a miss, throwing darts at a dartboard. Marvel, gee, I'm not that excited. I'm like, I get it. It's Spider-Man. You can just eternally milk the cow. You can pick Tobey Maguire and kick him out. You know what I mean? You can kick out Tobey Maguire and get Jake Gyllenhaal as a clone. You know what I mean? I don't mean to say nothing, but dude, it's like where's this rant going? All to say that don't count your blessings. They'll put in Harry Potter or worse. No plans right now. No plans to put Universes Beyond in standard. No plan to go beyond renamed reprints, you know. And here we are. Playing with Avatar cards, getting the Spider-Man slop. I get it. The Lord of the Rings was hot. I get it. I get why Lord of the Rings was hot. It's on theme though. It's a fantasy. It's like the only reason Magic the Gathering exists in the first place because Lord of the Rings. And I'm not, you know, I like Lord of the Rings. I'm not here to shill if you don't like it, but like, dude, that's why we're all here. That's why D&D is a thing, because Lord of the Rings. And would have came about with somebody write a fantasy novel that would be comparable, but it's like, what are the origins, in my opinion? What are the origins? These are the origins. Look at the art style. Even blue. That's scary. What is going on? Scary, gritty. For adults, it was the adult card game. You know, people say Magic the Gathering is a card game for children. It wasn't. It was like a more mature version. You know, just saying. Overall, it was for people, you know, of all ages. You know, you can say that about Pokemon too, but you know, it's like, that's why I played Magic the Gathering when I was a kid, not Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I played the video games. I love the video games. I still love the video games. I liked the cards when I was very young, and you know, You know, it's like Pokemon cards are a gateway drug to Magic the Gathering cards. And Magic the Gathering lost me because it's pay to win. At least with Pokemon cards, you can get bulk cards. You know what I mean? You can build your deck with bulk cards and you're good to go. But Magic, it would pay to win. You're tired of Wizard of the Coast pushing out slop constantly, forcing you to pay big money just so they can make you pay for what, $300 mana base. You're like, you go to the F&M and everybody's like, you know, the rich guys are trying to beat you down with their $300 mana bases, and then you are like, you got to play your little budget rogue deck, Shards of Alara, Grixis type thing that I ran, and then you beat somebody and they're some sort of weirdo and they get all angry that you beat them with your rogue deck, your budget deck, and it's like, man, gee, I wish I could just play on the same level. You know, it's like, I mean, you can play well, but if you ain't afford a $400 standard deck that rotates out immediately, you can't compete. You can't even play vintage if you ain't got a Black Lotus or whatever. Man, this rant's going on long enough just to say, bring back Solitary Trooper. Look at that guy. He's a white card and he's scary. Scary. Get rid of the... I'm going to have another rant just about Secret Lairs again. And then, Turtles, I'll get some, but like, I have my complaints about the direction they went with it. You know what I mean? Just saying. I don't care about this. I don't care about it. Maybe it'll be cooler than I think, but I just don't care about, like, and it's kind of like the Bloomborough thing. It's like, maybe that's a little bit before I recently picked it back up, and I'm sure Bloomborough is fine, but it's like, there's a reason Lorwyn's so hot. You know what I mean? I love the new Lorwyn set, Bring back Hoof Lady. I'll talk to you about it tomorrow.